Great season off the boards, but against the Celtics, he's been overmatched. The lead is 4. And Bird throws it away. He was going for McHale, and now the Celtics will call a timeout, leading by 4 with 2:40 remaining in the first half.
That Pat Riley does for a 40-year-old center is make it easy for him to get position so he doesn't have to fight the likes of Robert Parrish. You're going to see right here the pick situation. Now Kareem will come in, and Robert Parrish will have to fight over the top to get him. Dennis Johnson has to go back and play him. Otherwise, there's a mismatch, and there's no elbowing or hard fight. A lot of physical stamina. They saved Kareem's stamina with that little pick to the spot.
Basically, 5 players have done the scoring in this game. Kareem, one of them. He and Worthy have accounted for 35 of 46 Laker points. And McHale, Parrish, and Dennis Johnson, 40 of 50 Boston points.
You know, they asked Robert Parrish, does he see any appreciable difference in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He says, yeah, he's got less hair now.
And he shaved off whatever he had for this game. 2.5 to play in the first half. Parrish blocks Michael Thompson, and a foul called, and it will be the 3rd personal on Robert Parrish. So the starting centers, Kareem and Parrish, have 3 fouls.
Parrish has done a great job of really clogging up the middle, and here's Thompson makes an easy move on McHale, and Parrish must try for the reject, picks up that foul. One of the things that I'm wondering about is, in 2 prior series, the Pistons and the Bucks really went at Larry Bird, figuring that he was the poorest of the big Celtic defenders. And Michael Thompson right now is being played by Larry Bird, and they haven't gone at Larry Bird with the low post matchup.
Walton, who has 2 fouls himself in there. Celtics holding on to a 3-point lead. McHale. And Michael Thompson got him a little farther away than he liked. Good defense by Michael Thompson. Cooper, who hasn't scored, now is on the board with a runner off the glass, and the lead is sliced to 1.
That time he caught Dennis Johnson on the rush to protect against the 3-point play, and Cooper used it beautifully.
Dennis Johnson having a strong first half. And the Celtics keep the lead.
And you see the Celtics pick first back all the time. Bird ends up with Magic Johnson, and now they'll re-switch.
Bird is guarding Magic, and Worthy swoops in, and Walton the rebound. Here's a 3-on-3 situation for the Celtics. And Walton and McHale, both of those big men coming up late. Celtics have the rebounding edge, and they rebounded the Lakers in all 3 games in Boston total. Walton against AC Green. Walton getting slow, coming back. Cooper gone for 3. In and out. He'll get back on defense. And with under a minute to play, and Walton really taking his time coming up.
He is really hurting, and it's awfully difficult when your feet aren't there to run up and down the court, and McHale's been doing it, but Walton has had mucho problems with it.
It's possible that that you can feel good in practice and start the game, and then after you've been there for a little while, all of a sudden the pain starts to come back.
Well, he just made a strong move against AC Green to try and take it to the hoop, and when you land on an injury like that the wrong way, it just throws shooting pains to your brain, and I think that's what happened.
That was a 20-second timeout called by Casey Jones, and we want to remind you that if the Celtics win today, we will be with you for the 7th and deciding game of the 1987 NBA Finals Tuesday night at 9 o'clock here at the Forum. And Fred Roberts has made his entry into the ball game, played 3 minutes in the last encounter, and Walton, who played 7 minutes in this one, goes out. 52-49, and Bird from the corner. 6 points for Larry Bird, and only his 3rd basket. to go in the first half, and Magic comes back. Both Bird and Magic have been quiet offensively, and now they may be heating up.
Magic in the low post is the best alternative to Kareem's sky hook, because none of the Celtic guards really can get at that hook shot.
13 on the shot clock, a differential of about 3.5 to 4 seconds. Bird goes baseline, and Worthy is called for the blocking foul. His second.
Here's Bird using the fakes and just a little movement, and Worthy steps into him, and then never does get that foot down. The charge or the blocking foul on Worthy.
One of the images I'll always remember from this series is seeing Worthy and Bird eyeing each other, isolated one-on-one in one of the corners of the floor.
I wouldn't want to eye one-on-one either one of them.
And a 20-second timeout called by Pat Riley to obviously drum up strategy when the Lakers get the ball for perhaps the final shot in a 4-point game. Kareem on the bench with 19 points and 3 fouls, and Robert Parrish also sitting down with 3 fouls and 12 points, and ultimately we may come down to the foul situation with those two men.
That's correct. And right now what they're trying to do, both ball clubs, is during this timeout is devise a plan to get it in quick, get it up the court, and see if they can. There's 9 seconds. You can still get a layup off of 9 seconds. Let's see what happens. Foul shots coming up first.
Now Walton comes back in the ball game for the Celtics, and Byron Scott, the long range shooter, is in for LA.
And they've got Worthy at half court and Cooper being guarded by Dennis Johnson up the other side near the Laker bench. So there may be a long bomb pass or an alley-oop to Worthy.
Walton harassing Green, the inbounds passer. Final seconds. Cooper. And Green misses the tip. And they get a lot of chances, but nothing goes. And this first half scoring pace definitely favors the Boston Celtics, who have the lead at halftime, 56-51. Brent Musburger will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message.
Now it's my pleasure to welcome two gentlemen who rank amongst the greatest ever to play in the NBA. When you sit down and say, who are your top 2 guards? Well, how about this gentleman, the Big O, Oscar Robertson with the Royals. You know what he averaged scoring in his first 8 years? 30 points. And he also directed one of the great floor games in the history. It was his game until he decided to give the ball up. Who would you like alongside him in that backcourt? Well, how about this man, Jerry West? Mr. Clutch came to the Lakers, and there has never been anybody who could score in the last couple of minutes with the pressure on any better than Jerry West. There he is, hitting that dramatic shot against the New York Knicks in a championship. We welcome Oscar and Jerry West. Oscar, tell me, what was the best part of Jerry West's game? What did you like about Jerry as a guard?
You know, I think Jerry was a smart player, and he took advantage of the defense. Plus, he had a great shot, and, you know, and the things about it, he knew how to play with his teammates.
Jerry, how about Oscar? What was the best part of his game?
Well, Brent, I've said it many times. There's never been a finer basketball player who ever played, and that includes today. I've always said it's impossible to compare people from different eras, but I don't think this young man here would embarrass himself against anyone.
Well, I don't hope not. Neither would you, Jerry. You know.
Oscar, as I said before,
we love each other.
Fierce competitors when you played. Jerry, let's start with the state of the game with you. Is there any rules you would change in the NBA? What about the health? You're now, of course, the general manager here in LA.
Well, Brent, I think the game is really very healthy. If I would see anything I'd like to change, but this would have been a long time ago, I'd like to see him have a couple more feet into the basket to play with, just under the basket. Everyone's talking about making the court wider or longer. If you would just take the present court, give him a couple more feet into the basket, you'd have to devise a new basket support. I think that would clean up the play and the pivot tremendously.
Oscar, how about you?
I think it's a good game. I think there's a lot of things that go on. I think basketball is very healthy right now, Brent. Maybe that would help moving the court further out underneath the basket. But I think let the game go. The players are just adjusting to the game of basketball today.
Oscar, what about free agency? What would you have been worth if you'd have had free agency? What's your feeling about that?
I think I call home and ask my wife that question. She knows more about that than I do. I don't know. You can't really say. I played when I did. I'm happy about it. But I think it would be worth a lot more money than I was worth when I played.
Jerry, you have to view free agency from a different perspective now as a general manager. We got Ralph Sampson, a lot of talk about David Robinson. Where do the Lakers stand regarding those two fine players?
Well, first of all, Brent, we really have not been as actively involved in the free agent market as everyone have thought. We couldn't sign a free agent because we're over the salary cap. But I think it's great. And again, there's an awful lot of players who I think have put this basketball game in the perspective where we have so many fans and so popular today. And those players certainly weren't compensated for what they were. The players today, in many cases, make more than they're worth, and in some cases, not enough.
All right, we're going to come back. We want to talk about this game, the perspective of Game 6 from Jerry West and Oscar Robertson. We'll have that right after these messages from your local station.